Hundreds of people blocked roads in the South Africa's capital as they walked towards the union buildings where the presidency is located, demanding the government to prevent an economic collapse. Unions accused the government of putting profits for the elite and corporate interests ahead of the interests of average South Africans. Here now is a report from Pretoria.
Angry and distressed, union workers over the South Africa's state of economy. They want answers from President Cyril Ramaphosa. And so they organized a nationwide strike and protest to demand action from the government. Protesters marched to one of South Africa's main government building in Pretoria, backing a national strike called by the country's two largest unions over high inflation and power cuts. Hundreds of people blocked roads in the capital as they walked to the union buildings where the presidency is located, demanding the government tackle rising living costs to prevent economic collapse. "We cannot breathe," they said.
We are calling those who own power, both in government and in the private sector, as they make decisions, they must think of the majority of the working class.
Members of South Africa's two largest unions, COSATU and SAFTU, and other smaller unions are staging a nationwide protest demanding the government take an urgent action against an economic meltdown in the country. They are protesting against high cost of living, rising fuel and food prices, and high unemployment rate. The unions say staging a protest is the only language government understands, and that the shutdown was a stay away for all workers of any race and middle class to mobilize and join the demonstration. However, government has warned public servants against participating in the planned countrywide shutdown, saying it will be no work, no pay for those who choose to stay away from work. Power crisis has worsened in South Africa. The president promises to cut through red tape to boost coal-addicted South Africa's use of renewable energy. But many South Africans are not waiting for government action, and their impatience is driven by a boom in small-scale solar installations. In the first 5 months of this year alone, South Africa imported solar PV panels worth nearly $135 million. That amounts to over 500 megawatts of peak generating capacity. Despite abundant solar and wind resources, South Africa's government has proved reluctant to adopt renewable energy. Until its relaunch in 2021, pressure from mining unions had ensured a program of private utility-scale projects was frozen for years. Even though the urban areas are finding alternatives, ordinary South Africans are disgruntled and want more.
Our government is not doing enough. That is the reason we decided to come today to say, government, you must do something about your people. You must create jobs.
Yesterday and today, at least 14 million people are forced to skip a meal a day. Not because they're in some slim progress, because they simply cannot afford to buy a plate of food at supper.
Labour unrest often affects sectors such as mining during wage negotiations, but it is rare for COSATU, South Africa's biggest union, to lead a national protest. South Africa's headline consumer inflation rose to an annual 7.8% in July, its highest level since 2009. Fuel prices were up 45.3% in June, their largest annual increase since the agency's Consumer Price Index series began in 2009.